Hello guys, welcome back to the Badger with me, the Badger Guy. And today I'm going to be showing you our forms functionality inside Unity. If you are familiar with Microsoft Forms and Google Forms, it's very similar. However, you are able to customize those forms to what you please. And if you want your clients to stick to a procedure that you have, for instance, adding new users or setting up new devices, you can use the forms, customize them to gather the specific information that you need to be able to carry out whatever process that needs to be followed. So let's take a look. So when you come to your Unity, you will go to workflow, and under here you will see various options including forms, templates, form components, and data destinations. And then you've got form history to see what forms were completed already. These different options are how the forms are built. So here under forms, you will have what forms exist and what components, what data is captured from those forms. Data destinations is where we're going to stop, but form components is what makes up a form. So you will create form components, and then you will put those components together, add them to the form that you want, and that's how a form is made. So first we'll start with data destinations. Under data destinations, you have email owner and email support. You can create other destinations here depending on where you want data sent to. So when a form is completed, that information is then sent on to whichever email you specify here. So for instance, we've got email support, and that emails to support@thebadger.com. This can be edited as you like. You can name it something different. You can create different data destinations for different things. This will send to this name and this address, from this address, and this is the from name. Now that you've got your data destination set up, you can go to form components, and we have different things here that are part of different forms. So you've got your basic things that will be components of a form, including specific company information, which you would usually add this component to every form, because when a user fills out the form, you need to know who they are, what company they're coming from. And if we edit this one, you can see which form it's used in. This component specifically only captures the company name and office branch, and that is used in your user removal request, your repair request, and new user request. So you can create one component which then becomes a part of different forms. You can have new email address information, which is part of the new user request. If we edit that, this captures quite a bit more information. You've got email addresses that need to be set up, what the display name and groups it needs to be a part of can be added in here. If we go to add a form component, we can, let's say we'll capture server info. Say it's a form that needs to request something on a server. And we've got different options here. We can have just a text field, and the text field can be server name. You can have help text, placeholder. All of these can be left as is, and you can have specific options for when a checkbox is selected, or only when the radio option button is selected. And you can specify that this is required for the form to be completed. So that's your server name, and then people can fill in that server name. You save that. And if we scroll down, we've got server info. Did I call it server info? Yes. So there's your form component completed. Now that can be added to a specific form. If we go into, so if we say add form here, you can see that we've got a few examples here already. We've got let's go to a smaller one, a repair request. So the repair request, if I edit that, this will look similar when I'm creating a new form. Give it a form title, a subtitle, which just is a description, and then what components it includes. So you don't have to build every single component inside the form. We just add the components that we've already created into this form, and that form will have all of those components already added. Can add tags to this for when searching. So up here you've got your formal links. So we can say repair, and there's your repair request form. Protection for that form, you can enforce that this form is only filled out for users that exist inside Unity. So they have to enter their email address, and they must exist on Unity to be able to get to this form. That is helpful for when tracking the history of forms. So if we go to form history, if anybody's created a form, we can see who submitted it and when and what form they completed. Go back to forms here and I say add form. Let's call this one server upgrade, for example. This must be lowercase and give it a subtitle, but it's not necessary. And under here, if we're going to be collecting information for the server, we add in the server info, and we might want to know the company. Maybe we want credential security in that form as well. Protection, we want the user filling this in for their email address to be required, and they must exist inside Unity. And then you can specify this for a specific client. Otherwise, you can just leave this blank for all clients, and then you can add in here your tags for when searching. Press space between tags. Then we click save. Under connections, this is where you will have this information sent to based on your data destinations. So we want to send email to this destination, and we want I'll get to that now. So templates is what we'll check next, and that is what we use to send emails. So go back to templates. Let's check one that we have already. So new user request email. So the new user form, the template is how that information is going to be sent out based on these tags. And these tags it pulls from your form components. So coming back to components, we created that other component previously for server info. If we come into edit and we have this server name, now this part of the component has various pieces to it. If I want to add a checkbox group, this one can be called required software, and we can have different checkboxes here, say Windows, and there's your example. Now we come to use the templates, or to create a template, we need to pull the information from this field. So I'm going to call this server software. And under the other one, I'm going to edit this field as well. And I'm going to call this one server name. And if we go back down to that component, we'll see we've got these fields now. When I create a template to be able to send this information on, I will add a template here. I'll call it server upgrade, type in the information, and then I will put in a box. You've got other simple templates here, which can be used. Your server, the fields that you want to add to this template need to look like this. So if we go back to, so you want your server name, double bracket, server software. We're just going to save this and go back to our components. I want this field, go back to my template, and there's our template. Then to continue with creating that form now, we want that server info. This must be lowercase. And then under connections, we want to send to support, and then we use the server upgrade HTML email template. And click save. Now that that form is created, you can see here it's going to pull this information and then send it on to this email address. And that's our forms. If you want to play around with that, please do. If you have any questions, let us know. You can contact us through the website, and we also have a Discord as well. Check that out. You can message me there. Thank you very much.